Hey, good morning, Matt.
Hey guys.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, guys.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning, Casey.
Morning.
What are y'all working on today?
Work. I got a cold or something. Jeez, it's kicking my butt.
As long as it's not COVID.
It's not that. It's ear, nose, and throat all infected all at the same time, and it just.
It's like everyone over here, everyone gets sick, and everyone all of a sudden they think they got COVID. I'm like, dude, not everyone has COVID.
Yeah. Well, I know what this is. All my years of commercial diving and stuff. First, my ears and my sinuses from always, clearing your ears and stuff from surface supplied diving. I did that for 15 years professionally, and they're just wore out. So now it's really easy for them to get infected. It happens 2 to 3 times a year easily.
Oh man, that's not fun at all.
No, I mean, my ears are so sensitive. Whenever I go up in an elevator, I got to clear them.
Oh.
Just an elevator, 33 feet from one floor to another. That's one atmosphere. My ears feel that, and I have to clear them.
You won't make it in Arkansas. You're above sea level there, man.
Nah, it's just part of life, right?
Yeah. How's it going with you, Matt?
It's going well. Everything's okay.
Awesome. Any issues, any concerns, or anything with the M2?
No, I got commissioned to do a piece, and everything worked great.
Awesome.
I can go show it here. Let me grab it.
Yeah, let's see it. You weren't on the business meeting yesterday, on the business summit yesterday, Casey?
No, I had a call with the folks over in Asia, APAC.
Okay.
How did it go?
It went pretty good, actually, to be honest. They went really, really good.
Yeah.
Let's see what she's working with.
So tell me about how that went, Mike.
It went really good, actually. We had a few speakers there. They were speaking about a little bit of how to start your business, how to get on Etsy, how to rank up on Etsy, and things like that. It was pretty cool. It really was.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's tips and tricks like how to rank up on Etsy. Those are gold,
Yeah, he did. He actually sent us a link to a certain thing. You know how when you do SEO for your websites and stuff like that, and there's also for keywords, there's different websites that you can use for keywords, so you can track the keywords. Well, there's one website specifically for Etsy. That's all they do.
Huh.
And it helps you rank on Etsy.
Dang. Yeah.
So.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I hear the puppy. But other than that, let's see what you're working with, Matt.
Yeah, sure. I found this really nice board. It was pine, and it doesn't have any knots in it, and it was real nice from the store, so it wasn't too expensive. But somebody asked me to make a welcome sign for their door. I don't make money on my CNC. I just, I was just doing it, and somebody noticed that I made another welcome sign with Texas as the O, and they said, well, could you do one of those for me? And I said, sure, and I went to the store and saw that wood prices are back down and reasonable now, so I grabbed this board for a good price. And then it didn't have any knots, but it didn't absorb. It's a pine board, but it didn't absorb the dark stain that I put on it. The stain just bounced off. It doesn't have any real pores. It just the stain just kind of bounced off of it. So I said, well, it's lighter. And I said, I finished it with oil so that if you really want to finish it or paint it or whatever, you can sand it down and paint it. But
That's really odd for pine not to take a stain like that.
I
Yeah,
know, I
I
know.
was
But
about to
this
say the same
said
thing.
the sticker on the board said the pine was from New Zealand, and you guys got to feel this. It feels so smooth. It's really awesome. And again, I didn't see a knot on the whole board.
That's what I was gonna say. There are hardly any pines with any knots. You know, they usually all have
Right.
knots.
Can I
Yeah, but
see
it said
that?
this is
Can I
from New
see?
Zealand, and it was awesome, and it wasn't that expensive. So,
Matt,
anyways,
can
it
you
was
show
nice
us?
and wide. What's that?
Can you show me the end grain?
Yeah.
That's what I want. That'll tell you a lot about the board. Oh yeah, look at that. There's no. Huh.
But like I said, I have some. I like
It's
finishing
like a
stuff.
hard
With,
wood.
yeah, I like finishing stuff with Danish oil, and it just bounced off of this. So it just was like, nope. So I mean, it got dark a little bit, and then I sanded it a little bit, and it got a little bit darker on the second application, but it really not much. It's as dark as that walnut Danish oil was. So, but yeah, I told Easel, I lied to Easel and told him I had a 1/8 inch bit in there, and I put a V bit in there, so you can see kind of the lines there in the W from the V bit, taking a little more out and on the
Than what it's
middle.
supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it takes it out on the middle and then it moves it over, and so you kind of see the lines in there. But I wanted to use a V bit on the letters, so instead
Did you all hear about the new camera that we're coming out with
no,
for the M2?
what's that?
It's a camera that you can mount on the actual sled, and you can actually see what's going on and with your pieces. And so the guy that's actually that developed the whole thing, he said that it's helped him a lot because he's watching his thing go, and then once he's finished, like he sees certain parts that are like, I guess, where it was jumping. So he goes back and reviews the video, and he sees exactly what happened,
Oh,
So it was pretty cool.
yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does. And it's for like less than $100, they said. So
When is it going to be available?
in a few weeks, probably. Don't quote me on that, but probably for sure by November, give or take.
Okay.
So we're excited about that new product as well.
Sure. Yeah.
How's it going, David?
All right. Who is this?
This is Mike with MakerMade.
Oh, I thought you were iPhone.
This
What
is
is this,
iPhone with iPhone.
Anti-video today? Should I be blinding myself too? I shaved, but
Oh,
hey, did anyone attend the Zoom last night?
Yes.
Is it recorded somewhere?
I don't know, but I know we did record it, but I will find out where it's at, and then I'll make sure it gets posted.
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
There
I
was some
couldn't
good
make it
information on there.
Yeah, I somehow thought it was 6 o'clock Central Time, not Eastern, so I missed it. But hang on, I gotta take a call.
No worries.
Hello?
So are you working on anything, Mike?
Just support tickets. Support tickets and helping people and whatnot, and I'm trying to help as many people as I can, and we only go in order. We had a message earlier from a guy named Nolan. He wanted me because someone asked for some kind of graphic design, to make a G code or whatever. So I responded, you saw that. And then he's like, well, respond to my email first. and I felt like telling them, like, hey, customer support is only for actual, calibration issues, frame issues, stuff that's not working. They don't pay me to help people design,
Yeah.
I answered that question to make more money on the side, that man, $10, $15, $20 to design the thing, and then he comes over here and he jumps in like, answer my, I'm like, wait, I'm like, MakerMade only gives me so many hours to work, So I can't go over my hours either.
Well, that's okay, because I don't get paid for MakerMade for doing anything like that.
So, but yeah, we get. Oh my God, bombarded. This last couple of weeks we had so many support tickets. You know, that's a good thing though. That's always a good thing.
Yep.
I know I contributed at least one about making an image for Raspberry Pi. Joel
Yeah, I
did
think-
get back to me yesterday.
Yeah, Joel handles the Raspberry Pi or whatnot.
Right.
So how are you liking that new CNC?
You asking me?
No, Casey. Oh, you too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm loving it. I got everything up and running. I auto homed it. I checked the auto zero plate functionality. It'll do close to 500 inches a minute. It is fast and furious. It is a monster, but it's time now to build the table. That means I gotta rearrange my whole damn shop again. That's the third time this year. So that's kind of what's it's like, really, man, damn it. I gotta build a new custom table for it because it's a 70 by 70 footprint actually.
That's
And,
nice.
Yeah, it's big. It's a 70 by 70 footprint. So single 4x8 sheet of plywood doesn't cover the top of it. So I think I'm gonna go with laminated board. I found some at Lowe's, like a countertop. But I'll cut that and custom design the table. I got everything designed now. It just comes down to building the damn table, you know.
That's
Casey,
nice.
It's larger than a sheet of plywood, the bed for that other one?
See it?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how well. It's big.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a monster.
What was the price point on that bad boy?
Oh Jesus, I don't think you want me to tell you that.
About 4 or 5 G's?
No.
Less?
Yeah. I bought the CNC mechanical kit from Bulkman. The total cost even after they included shipping was right at 1,100. And then I bought the entire Open Builds black box control system, the entire ecosystem with the auto zeroing Z plate and limit switches, the whole 9 yards. I picked that whole thing up for 340.
Okay. So you spent about 1,500, give or take.
I'll be at 1,500 because now I'm at that nickel and dime stage where I think, oh man, damn, I need 2 little brackets. Oh crap, I need 2 pieces of drag chain, you know? And
Yeah.
those things are $10 a piece, $5 a piece. So I think after all is said and done, I mean, all in with the wood for my table, I'm going to build an engineered truss design for the table. This thing weighs a good, it's got to be 160 pounds. It's heavy. And the nice thing about it is it's linear rails. So I don't know if you guys can see that. See the rails? The whole gantry slides on bearings on guided rails. So the accuracy is 0.001 to 0.003.
That's amazing.
That's
Well,
nice.
that's kind of what I wanted, right? So we'll see. We'll see. I always wanted to carve those big American flags. They're wavy, you know, and they have like
Yes.
a marine symbol and stuff in them. And you see people designing those out of Vectrix, and that's kind of always been my goal. I've always wanted to do an American flag like that
With the waves.
for a door. I thought
Oh,
a giant, you know, my garage, my shop door. I thought one of those carved wavy 3D flags, the size of my door would be awesome. Well, three quarters of the door anyway, and then the bottom half would be my dog's in and out. If he can't come in the shop when I'm in here, he sits out there and whines. But that's what we're doing. I'm gonna take the M2 and I'm gonna convert my big frame into a mini frame, slide it down, and I'll still use the M2 for a lot of the laser stuff. And then I'll take my other table and slide it up against there. And the table I designed for this bigger CNC, because it's a 70 by 70, I bought 2 bearing roller kits that go on the side, and I'll be able to grab under the table and pull it out, and it'll give me a 70 by 70 workstation with legs that flop down. And then whenever I need room in the shop, I just flop the legs up and slide it back into the table, and
Nice.
got a big area all opened up again.
Why that dimension? 70 by 70 is.
Because it's so the linear rails are a specific distance, that C channel, right? It's 40/80. So you take 40 millimeters off of each side, and you do the math. It's designed to put on a full 4x8 sheet or 4x4 sheet of plywood, or you can slide a 4x8 in halfway, and you can just cut the center and then slide
Tiles.
the rest of the
Do
way.
do tiling. Yeah, I've done some tiling with mine.
So the workspace is about 4x4?
It's larger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll fit a full 4x4 easily with an inch or 2 to spare on the sides.
Nice.
Who is the frame? You said Open Builds was the controls, but that's not the kit.
No, the kit is built by Bulkman 3D, and it's called the Queen Bee Pro CNC.
That's the largest one they have, right? That's the biggest one they have.
It's the 1500 by 1500. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at that one a while back too. I ended up going with the 150.
Yeah, the Onefinity was just outside of my price range.
Not only that, but there's a back order right now, 6 months back order, 5 to 6 months.
I got mine in. Keep in mind that I ordered that from China, right? Bulkman is in China, and I was a little leery about that, but man, their packaging was awesome. They make sure nothing gets damaged in that thing, and it took. It was about 11 days from the day I ordered it to the day I received it. It was 11 days, but the packages, one package came in like 5 days. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. I'm going to lose the other 2 packages somewhere in the box, right? And now the next week, the following Friday, the other 2 packages showed up, and I had tracking numbers on everything. So I was able to track it, but I'm good. I was very good. And I went with the black, usually like with Open Builds, hell that black kit is another $400 to go with all black instead of silver. And with Bulkman, it wasn't any additional money.
Not bad.
No, it wasn't bad, but it's not for a beginner because you have to assemble, configure everything.
Yeah, I know. I was seeing that. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen it, look on my YouTube channel. I've been logging every build hour on this thing, how I did it. You can see what I did to get it to where it is today. I have multiple videos on the control system. I just have to upload and do the intros, but that's it. That's where we're at.
And you said it can do 500 inches per minute?
It'll do 500 inches per minute. You don't ever do that because you'll just break the bit. Based on what I'm seeing from people on the there's a Queen Bee Pro CNC Facebook page. It's nothing like MakerMade. So these guys are kind of assholes. So I just kind of lurk and watch and read that, you know what I mean? But looking on there, the average is probably 100 to 150 inches per minute.
Okay.
That's about run. I think anything faster than that, and to be honest with you, I think you just break bits because the bits can't.
Not really, because at least my Onefinity, the most I ran it was at 285, I believe it was. On my Onefinity, it did really good. It was fast.
Is that a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch bit?
It was a 1/4 inch. It was doing good. But that Onefinity, I'm not gonna lie, that Onefinity is a beast.
Yeah,
That's in wood.
Oh, that's in wood. Yes, sir.
A whole nother ball game than the M2 though. I mean, the M2 has its place. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I like the M2. I'm not getting rid of mine. I'm actually keeping them. I'll have one for a CNC and one for a laser. And I'll be able to swap out the lasers, but I'm going to use them on a 4x4 area up on the wall instead of, I'll use that for larger outside shapes, cuts, and things like that. And then I can take those and put it in here or whatever I want to, and then do the detailed carving or the epoxy pours and stuff like that. And
I gotta say, I like having a large work surface on an angle. I mean, I looked at I forget what it was called, another DIY CNC that was green toe or green something or other. And you know, I don't have enough space to devote a level surface that's 4x4, even let alone 4x8.
well, I didn't think so either. But once I get it up here, trust me, I'm still looking at it going, son of a, that's going to leave a mark. But I look around my shop and see how I can move things around, and it'll be good. And then the design of that table with my workbench designed into it, made out of engineered trusses, it'll be a super flat work surface, solid. And that kind of puts everything back into perspective. And then underneath of that bench, it also has about a 12-inch height where I can slide in 4x4 sheets of plywood. So if I get 8 or 9 sheets of plywood, I can slide them underneath the table on a rack and they'll stay flat. So they're not sitting out in the middle of the garage. The reality is I only got half a garage to work with. Half the garage is my mechanic shop. I got 3 kids in college, so I'm wrenching on their crappy old cars all the time. So I got one side of the garage is nothing but mechanics. You can see my mechanics tools behind me. And then the other side of the shop is all woodworking. So I can't really go much further. I can only go so far. Otherwise I can't get a car in the shop.
Well, mine is actually a 1-horse garage. The house is built in 1895, and I think the garage is built at the same time. It's got big barn doors that swing in left and right. And we gave up on getting a car in it because you could basically get one car sort of into it as long as you didn't have anything against the back wall. So I've more or less taken it over. It's got a bunch of bikes in it, which we use as much as our cars, but that
Yeah, and then when you do get your car in there, you can't open the doors, right? You can't get out.
well, the doors swing out. The doors swing out because it's a that type of thing. Anyway, excuse me 1 minute. I gotta see the front door.
So Matt, you're working on anything else or?
Well, like you, I think I'm trying to redesign my the mount for the M2, the leaning against the wall. The idea is to have it on the French cleats so that I don't, because my floor isn't level, right? So right now I've got it shimmed up a couple of times on the thing, and I have it just the frame leaning against there, and I want to put it on the French cleats. And I think I was going to do something similar to what you were talking about. I mean, I want to be able to lean it against there, and then maybe, when we have a car in there and stuff, and my wife wants to park her car in there all the time, I'd be able to push it against the wall, and maybe I'll have 2 little legs on the back that can fold in and it'll go against the wall. But I was thinking, I really would like to have, like you just talked about, have a table, that I can work on, or a work surface, because, work surface is a premium. So what I was thinking is to make it so that it not only will fold against the wall, but maybe make it so it'll fold flat and then be a 4x8 desk, when I'm not using it, and maybe an assembly table or something like that. So I'm thinking about doing some half lap, 2x4s, and trying to make something so that it'll go on the French cleats, and that'll where it'll hang, but it'll fold against, or it'll fold down as, as a work surface or something. But it's complicated, so I haven't figured that all out yet. But it sounds like you had some roller idea that was really cool.
Well, so here's what my new idea for my 4x4, my mini frame is going to be.
Yep,
I'm just going to build a standard frame with two by fours that go up the outside with holes in them.
yep,
And then I can take two by fours or 2x6s and put a hole in those with the rounded edges. And
yep,
I'll be able to put a board behind those and screw that directly to the wall
yep.
and then put the frame up in that. And then the frame, of course, would set so far off the floor. And what I want to do is the bottom of it I could just grab like I'll put a handle on it or something, grab the handle, pull it out. And on the sides toward the bottom, I was actually going to put 2 bolts, all threads that stick all the way through
Mhm.
with 2 legs on the sides, probably 1x4s
Yep.
with a slot cut out of them with a flat square that connects the 2 legs. So what I'll be able to do is pull it out, loosen up 2 wing nuts, and the whole thing will just slide down and
Mhm.
hit the floor. Then I just tighten up my wing nuts, and then it's going to just sit there. And when I'm done, I just loosen up the wing nuts, slide the leg up, tighten them back up, and let it swing up against the wall.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And I mean it, but remember, mine's going to be a mini frame. I don't think you could do that with a large frame. It'd just be too heavy.
Yeah.
But for a mini frame, I could easily do that. Then the whole thing, it'll just set flush against the wall when I want it to. And when I do want it, I grab one handle, undo 4 large, I'll make them large wing nuts, easy to do.
Mhm.
Pull them out, undo 4 large wing nuts, let it drop down, tie it back in, just check for level, make sure everything's square,
Yep.
and then away we go.
That sounds very cool. I'd like to see that. Even if you have a drawing or something, I'd love to see something like that.
Right now it's in my head, but I was just going to use, in your big gate, your backyard fence,
Yep.
the gate hinges, they have those big black gate hinges. That's
Yep.
what actually gave me the idea. I was walking in the house a couple of weeks ago and I looked over, and for some stupid reason I went, damn, those are big hinges. And then I thought, wait a minute, those things that hold up a mini frame.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then that's where it started, yeah, I don't know. That's my engineering brain all over the damn place. But that's how it started. And from there, I started thinking, how the hell do I get it to pop out and stay out? But yet I don't want something that has to fold up because, as well as I do, that wears out after a little while. So I wanted something that would just slide up and slide down. And then
Mhm.
I wanted wing nuts on it so I can just do it by hand. I didn't have to go get a wrench every time I wanted to do something.
Right.
So anyway, that's it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's great. That's kind of what I'm thinking, and I need to draw something out and try to figure it out. But I can make a 2x4 frame, super sturdy and just make it fold down. And I'd like to use that as an assembly table or something. But that's secondary. I want it attached to my French cleats because those are all parallel to each other. And obviously the floor like not being parallel is a problem because those shims don't like to stay in there. They kind of wiggle themselves out sometimes. And I just wanted to make it all so I can move it because eventually I might reconfigure my garage, put it on the other side or do something else, so.
Yeah, so I had a neighbor that put a 5x5. It was actually really ingenious. A little table with an angled leg that popped out underneath
Uh-huh.
of it,
Uh-huh.
and it would overextend so it would lock. And then he could just kind of push up with it on his hands, and the whole table would fold back in.
Nice.
And it was a 5x5. The weight of it actually bowed inside of his garage wall.
Oh, really?
Hanging on the 2x4s.
Sure.
You got to be careful about the size. I mean, he called me over one day and he just put a level on the wall, and you could see that, the level, it was just a little light at the bottom because it kind of stuck out. But he goes, who would have thought, and I thought, yeah, I mean, that covers, 4 2x4, 4 studs in his wall. I thought that would have been strong enough, but it kind of pulled him in and bowed it enough that it affected his wall. Took it off and it all went back. Eventually it all straightened itself back out, but
Mhm.
just be careful how much weight you hang on there.
Yeah, you got a good point. Yep. I was gonna tie it into more than one French cleat, maybe 2 or 3, several ones down the way. But you're right. I gotta engineer it first and figure out how it's gonna look. And I've just been batting this around in my head, but again, I don't want to take it apart because I got something working now, and more downtime is not acceptable. I love making stuff. I'm making some stuff for Halloween, and I just don't want to have any more downtime now that wood prices are good. When wood prices were super high, I was like, oh, let me reimagine this.
Hey, Matt, have you looked into drafting table hinges?
No, I've never heard of that. What is that?
Those are the hinges they use to allow the drafting table to pitch up in different angles.
Okay.
And they've got specific kind of teeth to kind of lock the table at specific angles. I don't know if
okay.
they've got one that sits at 15 degrees, like what we would need for the M2.
Sure.
But I was wondering if maybe something like that would be something that would help out with your process.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm looking at them now. I've never seen this before, but yeah,
Yeah.
that
And they're
looks
also designed, I think, to like handle like almost up to 48-inch wide. So, because that's how big a drafting table can be. So,
Sure.
adding a few more might help support that weight that we need for the frame.
Yeah, that's great. Yep. Thank you. Thanks, Dustin. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's kind of why I like the sliding leg idea on the side, because if you think about it from an engineering perspective, you have a board that's flat, right? And then the two legs that sit on the side of it, they slide up and down. And as you pivot out from the wall, the farther you slide those legs down, right, and tighten them up, you can hit any angle. I could pull it out and tighten those down, get a perfect 15 degrees. I can, if for some reason I think, dang, this thing needs 18 degrees. Or no, it's nice to have 12 degrees. It needs more freedom.
Yeah.
All I have to do is unloosen those, shorten the legs, let it slide into the wall and adjust the angle. But then I got a large magnetic protractor for my table saw. So I just stick it on there and I just adjust it and watch the digital gauge on it. It gives me the perfect angle for that deck.
What's magnetic in your table though, or in your base that sticks to though?
A tape measure.
Oh, okay.
One of those metal yardsticks.
Mhm.
I have one with millimeters on it. I hang up. I have a screw on it and it has a hole in it. So I hang it. Then I can take that tape measure and just stick it, or the gauge, and stick it to it, because that thing sits flush up against the whole deck.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a good idea.
You always find a way around it, right?
It's great.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Patrick. Mike, did you find that recording from yesterday? I didn't know whether.
Yeah, I
you
was
were gonna
letting y'all
post it.
waiting for y'all to finish talking. That way I can let you know that Patrick, well, he's on the call. He just sent me a message a few minutes ago letting me know that Drew will actually be uploading it on YouTube here shortly.
Okay.
Very well.
Yeah, but I just talked to him about it. So we're not sure. We've got dual recordings on it. So we're going to check and see which one's the right one. But yeah, should be uploaded here pretty soon.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it was a lot of
Okay.
fun.
I'm gonna sign off because I'm about to lose my internet service. So the tech just arrived to reroute the fiber optics. So I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks, David.
All right,
See you.
bye.
So, hey, Patrick, that I finally got a reply back from another individual that has that Fox Alien 15 watt. So the 15 watt is discontinued. They're not making the 4040 anymore. They have a 4040 LE, but the
Okay.
Fox Alien needs its own driver.
Okay.
You can't just plug it in. So it's kind of like it's kind of like the other one. It has that black driver module that it runs over to the MakerMade control. So the Fox Alien has its own driver module. You can't go without it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was worried about. Okay. So they discontinued it. Did you find out if it was pretty capable of doing an 1/8-inch cut, or?
No, without the control module, I can't run it.
No.
Yeah, it's the new LE. I think all they did, so if you go to their website, the 4040 isn't sold anymore. The 4040 LE replaces it, but I think all they did was put an HD lens on it.
Oh, okay. Well.
And so I think that's all they did. But until you get a control module for that, there's no way to control that unit. And I checked with a couple of other folks that are running those. I seen somebody that had one for Inventables. They were running it on theirs. And I emailed them and they said, no, it doesn't connect to anything. You have to have the Fox Alien box to run it.
Gotcha.
So that's, I think and you have to buy them as a kit. I don't know how you got just the laser, but you have to buy that whole thing as a kit. The controller, the laser, the wires.
Okay.
No different than JTech, right? It's
Yeah.
the same package.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're saying it's 15 watt. I did notice the output wattage on this one was 5.5 watts. Now that sounds low, but the safe output of the JTech is 3.5. Remember? Yeah, remember they tell you not to go up to 5, you'll burn the laser out. So you can do 5 watts on the JTech, but configured from the manufacturer, it's only configured for 3.5 watts. That way you don't burn out the laser running
Gotcha.
a million miles an hour.
Gotcha. I guess, yeah.
With the Fox Alien, I think it comes configured at 5 watts. Now, how long the laser would last, I don't know.
Right. Man, this is so like typical of CNC industry, right? It's like nobody can give a straight answer, even on what the power output is, let alone what you can do with it at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, mine for the JTech one, I pulled the top off the driver module and I put my multimeter on it. That way I could see exactly what it was pulling. And then I emailed JTech's support. And that's when they came back and said, oh, well, yeah, we don't recommend that you run it at 5. So the jumpers, there's 5 jumpers in there. 1, 2, and 3 are set to a specific point. 4 and 5 are offset. They're not connected. And they said, leave those 3 there. Otherwise, if you connect 4 and 5, it'll go up to 5 watts, but your laser probably won't last very long.
You'll burn up your diode. So that's the thing. It's crappy. You never want to run, even your CO2s, you don't want to run it 100%. But the diode, so I've got something game changer for y'all. Sorry, it took me a little bit to log in. So my buddy's here that has all the lasers, but look at this laser module. So this is that 40 watt one, but this is actually a better one than that one that you were looking at. But so the whole diode, the PWM, everything, the whole controller is built on top. So there's a PWM output on this and a 12 volt output. That's it. So you don't have to have the control box. You have to have all these things like that. And look at this. It's got auto focus. So it's got auto adjust height. It uses infrared to automatically adjust, and it has its own built-in Z axis. And it's a 15 watt.
It's a 15 watt. I thought
Yeah,
you
it
said
says 40. It says 40 watt, but 40. But it's actually like a 15 watt diode. And so I'll send you the info on it. But look at this thing. So he's got the one I was telling you about that has all the storage full of stuff. It's right here. So, anyways, we'll but this thing is badass. So
yeah, Drew, definitely send me the info on that. I'd love to find out. That seems like an all-in-one module that we could bolt right on. That's what we're looking for.
I'd be curious
I know,
as
when
to
you
what
brought-
the actual output wattage of that is when you plug it in and you turn it on. Measure it off the top of that control.
I'm getting you one, Casey. I'm trying to get you one. I'm getting you one. Okay. I'm getting you one, Patrick. So he's but yeah, and then I was like, wait, I started looking at the controller on this thing. I was like, wait, this controller is just straight PWM 12 volt off. And you have a Z axis in here too, they can do, but so you could just literally plug it on and that's everything. Well, and it's actually really powerful, and it's built. Like if you look at that heat sink in there, but the fact is it automatically adjusts the height. You have
You're breaking up, Drew.
2-inch. So you do like a material with it. Z. It's a nice. It's crazy. I was actually so blown away.
The Fox Alien looks just like that. I mean, it doesn't have the Z-axis control, but even with that top board, that's just your pulse width modulation. That's the configurator for that. It still has the 12 volt jumper and the signal wires going to it, but it still has to go to a control box. And that control box is what configures your signal coming from the M2 to the laser to fire on and off. So I'd be curious as to whether or not that one there.
No, I already hooked up the PWM. I already did send a PWM pulse on my signal generator. and it fires fine. Just sitting at a regular analog, just sitting a regular PWM pulse. So you can do it off laser port, and it is a 12 volt.
Okay.
So you can, and so yes, that is the full controller, everything on it.
Yes, send me the link on that on Amazon or whatever you could, Drew. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Because
Yeah,
if
you
you
didn't have to have that, if you didn't have to have all that extra wiring in the box on the wall, man, that'd be awesome.
Right?
yeah, literally you'd plug in your 12 volt cable, your PDM wires, and then the Z axis you can unplug and plug in here. But you can actually control the Z through this too, through the PWM. You can actually send a PWM signal to control that. And it's just using, because with the lasers, most of the lasers, like even the big lasers, just use a The lasers are actually pretty simple in the sense of you have your stepper motor drivers, but really at the end of the day, all you have is the controller. If you want to fire your laser, all I have to do is send a PWM signal to the power supply. So there's a power supply down there. So if you just take the CO2 laser and the power supply, plug them in, you can fire them without everything else. The controllers are all just for the X, Y, and Z. And so, so these have, you can have, this is the actual like Rudia controller, but it works with, but you don't need this to actually run the machine. That's just if you build their little frame kit and all that. But I just was surprised at the auto leveling because I was looking, I was like, oh crap, there's the diode in there.
That's huge.
And the fact is, you don't have to even run a Z-axis if you don't want to it. You can just leave the Z-axis on the console, and this will automatically adjust the Z-axis automatically.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
And you can replace the lenses on it. You can replace the focal lenses on it. It's a 5mm lens. So you can see how the little disc screws out there. Because I keep lenses for my lasers. I have a little pack of, because I replace lenses all the time on my lasers. Because I burn them up and they crack after a while. So yeah, I'll try to get 2 out to you today if I can. Because I'll get you connected with him because he's got
Wait, Drew, thank you for that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really great info. And Casey, thanks for running with that thing. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you want me to do with it, but there's nothing you can do with it unless you want to. I looked online. You need to spend another $120 just for the controller, the wires, and everything else. So,
yeah.
You want me to send it back to you, or do you want me to just toss it in the trash?
You can toss it. We're not going to do anything with it. But thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Sweet. Well, I'm going to probably bounce. We've got Drew here. Drew Wallace married on Saturday, and so we're doing a little party for him. Starting off here. So I'm probably going to bounce unless we have any other pertinent questions on this end.
No, tell Drew congrats, man.
Absolutely, Will. Absolutely.
Lauren and I have Lauren had a great idea. I think we're gonna make.
Don't do it.
So hey, Mike.
What's up?
What are you gonna do, Drew?
We will say Lauren had a great idea. Well, wait, is Drew on here? Okay, good. He's like, you know what we need to make Drew is we need to make him one of those tux tank tops. So we're gonna send some tuck tank tops. I'm laser etching some wine or some whiskey glasses. Too.
Oh, perfect! Because I just got him a really nice bottle of single malt.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, for sure, that's gonna be great. Yeah, we're gonna do him a little laser etched team card too as well, so it'll be fun. Yeah,
I'll try to get 2 of these out. Like we're gonna work together and try to get. He's gonna run his warehouse and we'll try to get 2 of these priority to you, so y'all can have that.
Shoot me an invoice for those. Seriously.
Okay.
You don't need to cover that. We can cover those.
Okay, yeah, because these things are so awesome. I'm like, what?
They're so cool.
I know. I was having fun. I built one last night, but this is the advanced one he brought today. And then when I saw, I was like, wait, it has a Z in it, auto leveling Z. I was like, what? So
yeah, that's super cool. Sweet.
Hey guys,
all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna bounce.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
I got a meeting coming up. Talk to you later.
See you, Matt. See you, Casey. See you, Dustin.
Yeah.
See you guys. Thanks, Mike.
Bye, guys.
Bye.